Part 1. Decoding the plant. The science of cannabis. For more than a century, cannabis sativa has lived under the shadow of misunderstanding, branded as a vice, criminalized by politics, and condemned by cultures that never truly studied it. Yet, as the fog of misinformation begins to lift, science is revealing a very different picture. Cannabis is not a threat to human biology, but one of its most sophisticated allies. At its molecular core lies a story of coevolution, a biological partnership between plant and person that modern medicine can no longer afford to ignore. The molecular language of cannabis. To grasp the significance of cannabis, one must first understand its chemistry. Within every leaf, trichome, and resin gland exists an ecosystem of over 1,000 compounds. Cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids, and other phytochemicals working in intricate harmony. Among these, tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, and cannabidiol, CBD, have become the most recognized, though they represent only the surface of the plant's complexity. THC acts on the brain's CB1 receptors, modulating mood, perception, and cognition. It is the compound responsible for cannabis's psychoactive experience, yet far from being a chaotic influence, it functions as a regulator of neural signaling, helping to rebalance overactive circuits. CBD, by contrast, is non-intoxicating but profoundly therapeutic. It interacts with serotonin and vanilloid receptors, modulating inflammation, anxiety, and pain perception. What makes cannabis exceptional, however, is not the isolated function of these compounds, but their synergy, the entourage effect. This phenomenon, widely described in cannabinoid research, explains how cannabinoids and terpenes interact to produce more balanced, nuanced effects than any one molecule alone could achieve. Terpenes such as myrcene, limonene, and linalool do more than contribute aroma. They directly influence how cannabinoids behave within the body, shaping outcomes that are both physiological and psychological. Cannabis, in this sense, is not a single drug. It is a living pharmacological network. The endocannabinoid system, nature's internal mirror. Inside the human body exists a biological counterpart to this plant chemistry, the endocannabinoid system, ECS. This system, discovered only in the 1990s, may be one of the most important medical revelations of the last century. It comprises a vast network of receptors, CB1 and CB2, enzymes, and endogenous cannabinoids such as anandamide and 2-AG. The ECS regulates homeostasis, the balance that keeps our internal environment stable despite external changes. It influences sleep, pain, appetite, mood, immune response, and neuroprotection. Remarkably, the cannabinoids produced by the cannabis plant mimic the function of those naturally generated by the human body. When endocannabinoid levels are deficient, plant cannabinoids can step in, restoring equilibrium. This mirroring between human and plant chemistry is no coincidence. It is evolutionary resonance. Cannabis doesn't disrupt biological order, it restores it. Far from being a foreign invader, it is one of nature's most elegant molecular partners in the maintenance of life. Beyond the myth of sativa and indica, for decades, cannabis users and growers have classified strains as either sativa or indica, the former associated with energy and focus, the latter with calm and relaxation. Scientifically, this division is misleading. Genetic and biochemical analyses show that most modern cannabis varieties are hybrids, their effects determined not by taxonomy, but by chemical composition. The real differentiators are cannabinoid ratios and terpene profiles. Strains high in limonene and pinene tend to elevate mood and alertness, while those rich in myrcene and linalool promote rest and tranquility. What consumers experience as sativa or indica is actually a biological dialogue between plant compounds and individual physiology. In truth, cannabis is not two species. It is a spectrum of therapeutic possibilities. The brain on cannabis. Cannabis's effects on the brain are neither random nor purely recreational. They are rooted in the way cannabinoids interact with the brain's architecture. THC activates receptors in regions responsible for memory, emotion, and sensory integration, temporarily altering perception and amplifying creative cognition.